Cleopatra's allure. The making of a legend. Cleopatra VII, Egypt's final pharaoh, was no ordinary woman. Born in 69 BCE, she inherited a crumbling kingdom, yet wielded her beauty, intellect, and charisma to become a legend. Ancient sources describe her with kohl-lined eyes, adorned in shimmering gold, her voice a melody that enchanted all who heard it. Unlike the rigid beauty standards of pale skin in other cultures, Egyptians prized symmetry and radiance, and Cleopatra embodied this ideal. Her allure wasn't just physical. She spoke 9 languages, mastered rhetoric, and understood the art of statecraft, making her a match for any man. To the Romans, she was an exotic enigma, a queen who could seduce not just hearts but empires. Her romances with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony weren't mere flings. They were calculated moves in a high-stakes game of power, where love was both a weapon and a bond. In Alexandria, the heart of her kingdom, Cleopatra crafted an image of divine beauty, aligning herself with Isis, the goddess of love and magic. Her palace, with its marble halls and lotus-filled gardens, set the stage for seduction. Men didn't just court her, they were drawn into her orbit, captivated by her wit and charm. Yet, her romances were never purely personal. Egypt's survival depended on alliances with Rome, and Cleopatra used her relationships to secure grain, armies, and influence. This blend of passion and strategy makes her story timeless, a tale of a woman who turned love into a legacy that echoes through history. The first flame, Julius Caesar. Cleopatra's first great romance began in 48 BCE, when she was just 21, with Julius Caesar. Rome's most powerful general, Egypt was in chaos, torn by a civil war between Cleopatra and her brother-husband Ptolemy XIII. To secure her throne, she needed Rome's support, and Caesar was her key. Legend has it she had herself smuggled into his quarters in Alexandria, rolled up in a carpet, emerging to greet him with a bold, theatrical flair. Whether true or embellished, the story captures her audacity. Caesar, nearly 30 years her senior, was smitten not just by her beauty, but by her intellect and courage. Their romance was a spectacle of opulence. Cleopatra hosted banquets where rose petals carpeted the floor, and golden goblets overflowed with wine. She took Caesar on lavish Nile cruises, showcasing Egypt's wealth with boats adorned in purple sails and silver oars. These displays weren't just romantic, they were political theater, convincing Caesar that Egypt was a prize worth protecting. Their relationship bore fruit literally, with the birth of their son, Caesarion, in 47 BCE, a child Cleopatra hoped would unite Egypt and Rome. But love came with risks. Caesar's enemies in Rome whispered of his infatuation, fearing he'd crown himself king with an Egyptian queen. When Caesar was assassinated in 44 BCE, Cleopatra lost her lover and protector, forcing her to navigate a new Roman power struggle alone. Their romance, though brief, set the stage for her greatest love story, the epic love. Mark Antony. Enter Mark Antony, Rome's charismatic general, whose romance with Cleopatra would define her legacy. In 41 BCE, Antony summoned her to Tarsus to answer for her loyalty after Caesar's death. Cleopatra arrived in a golden barge, dressed as Aphrodite, with oarsmen rowing to the rhythm of flutes and servants fanning her with ostrich plumes. The spectacle was irresistible, and Antony, known for his love of pleasure, fell hard. Their connection was immediate to ambitious souls who understood both passion and power. Unlike her strategic alliance with Caesar, Cleopatra's bond with Antony was deeply personal. Fueled by shared revelry and mutual respect, their romance unfolded in Alexandria, where they formed the inimitable livers. a society dedicated to feasting, theatre, and grand gestures. Cleopatra matched Antony's wit, drinking with him into the night and engaging in playful bets. Like when she dissolved a pearl in vinegar to prove her wealth. They had 3 children twins, Alexander, Helios, and Cleopatra Selene, in 40 BCE, and Ptolemy Philadelphus in 36 BC, cementing their partnership. But their love was also a political alliance. Antony granted Cleopatra vast territories, including Cyprus and parts of the Levant, strengthening Egypt but enraging Rome. Their public displays, like the donations of Alexandria in 34 BCE, where they declared their children rulers of eastern lands, painted them as a threat to Roman power. This romance, though passionate, sowed the seeds of their downfall. The art of seduction, Cleopatra's strategy, Cleopatra's romances were no accident. They were masterclasses in seduction as a tool of statecraft. She understood that beauty alone wasn't enough. Her charm lay in her ability to tailor her allure to each man. With Caesar, she was the bold young queen, offering Egypt's riches and a son to secure his loyalty. With Antony, she was a partner in revelry, matching his charisma while subtly guiding his decisions. She used lavish settings, palaces lit by alabaster lamps, banquets with rare spices to create an aura of divinity. Her wardrobe, from sheer linens to golden headdresses, was chosen to dazzle, each outfit a statement of power. Language was her weapon. Fluent in Greek, Latin, and Egyptian, she spoke directly to her lovers, bypassing translators, which built intimacy and trust. Her love letters, though lost to history, were likely poetic, drawing on Egypt's tradition of romantic verse. She also wielded knowledge, discussing philosophy with Caesar and military strategy with Antony, proving herself an equal. Yet, her seduction wasn't just personal, it was diplomatic. By aligning with Rome's most powerful men, she secured Egypt's grain supplies and military protection, delaying her kingdom's fall. Cleopatra's romances show that love, in her hands, was a calculated art, blending desire with ambition to keep Egypt afloat. The price of love, power, and peril. Cleopatra's romances came at a steep cost. Her relationship with Caesar alienated Rome's Senate, who saw her as a foreign temptress, luring their leader into monarchy. After his assassination, she faced a fractured Rome, navigating its politics with no guarantee of success. Her love with Antony was even riskier. Their extravagant lifestyle and territorial grants fueled propaganda from Octavian, later Augustus, who painted Cleopatra as a seductress bent on destroying Rome. Roman poets like Virgil called her a whore queen, turning public opinion against her. The turning point came at the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE. Antony and Cleopatra's forces faced Octavian's navy, but their defeat was catastrophic. Miscommunication led Antony to believe Cleopatra had betrayed him, though she hadn't. Fleeing to Alexandria, their love crumbled under pressure. In 30 BCE, as Octavian closed in, Antony took his life, believing Cleopatra was dead. She followed soon after, choosing death possibly by asp bite over capture. Their children faced uncertain fates. Caesarion was executed, but Cleopatra's children with Antony were spared. Raised in Rome, their love, though epic, ended in tragedy, proving that power and passion are a volatile mix. Cultural reflections. Cleopatra's legacy. Cleopatra's romances weren't just personal triumphs. They shaped how we view love and power. In ancient Egypt, love was a public act, tied to alliances and survival, unlike today's private notions of romance. Cleopatra's ability to captivate men like Caesar and Antony shows a woman wielding agency in a male-dominated world. A narrative that resonates with modern audiences seeking stories of strong women. Her life inspired countless works, from Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra to Hollywood films, each reimagining her as a seductress, queen, or both. Her story also reflects Egypt's unique view of women. Unlike in Rome, where women were often sidelined, Egyptian queens could rule alone, and Cleopatra leveraged this to her advantage. Her romances were partnerships, not subordinations, challenging the idea that love diminishes power. Yet, her vilification by Rome shows the limits of her agency. Her gender and foreign status made her a target. Today, we see her as a symbol of defiance, using love to navigate a brutal world, a testament to the enduring power of charisma and strategy. Modern parallels. Love as Power. Cleopatra's story feels timeless because it mirrors modern romance's complexities. Her calculated seduction parallels how we curate online personas to attract partners, from polished profiles to witty texts. Her banquets echo grand gestures, like planning a perfect date to impress. Like Cleopatra, we use charm and intellect to forge connections, balancing emotion with strategy. Her ability to speak her lover's languages reminds us of tailoring our words to connect, whether in a heartfelt note or a flirty DM. Yet, her story also warns of love's risks. Her alliances with Caesar and Antony, while strategic, invited envy and betrayal. Much like modern relationships, can falter under public scrutiny or ambition. Her legacy teaches us that love is never just personal, it's shaped by culture, power, and perception. Whether in ancient Alexandria or today's digital age, romance remains a dance of vulnerability and strength, where every gesture carries weight.